Oh, I had a bit of a lay-in this morning. Got up quite late, just been up to have a shower. The weather's a little bit more overcast today. There is some rain forecast, but it's okay at the moment, still quite mild. Oh, I've just had breakfast and the weather's closed in a little bit now, gone quite miserly. There's a bit of drizzle, a bit of moistness in the air. Oh, Nikki's settled into the van doing some of her book work. I think she's going to be quite happy there for a few hours. Well, while Nikki does that, I'm going to take the electric bike and go off and look for some mining remains. Another good thing about the electric bike, of course, is that it does enable you to take quite a load of gear with you. Definitely necessary to be all waterproofed up for this one. It's a stiff old climb up these hills, even with the battery on full power. I had to stop to take a bit of a breather. Oh, I seem to have arrived at some sort of viewpoint rest area with parking benches, but can't say much for the view today. Anyhow, at least the road has levelled off a bit now. I'm up to fourth gear now. I was in first most of the way coming up that hill. And this is the village of Priddy. This is actually quite cold and wet up on the top of these Mendip hills. Quite glad I've got my waterproofs on, although this Pacamac waterproof isn't actually that waterproof. Oh, at least we're on the last straight now. Hoping this weather will clear up. It was forecast to clear up later on. Not much sign of it at the moment, though. Yeah, they really are a godsend, these electric bikes. I wouldn't have wanted to do the ride I've done today on my ordinary bike, that's for sure. I mean, I guess I probably could have done, but that definitely would have been it for the day afterwards, eh? Oh, well, we've arrived. I'm going to lock the bike to this signpost and then we'll go and see what we can find. Well, we've found the mine, and isn't it nice to be in the dry out of that rain, eh? Now, as usual, we have to say, don't enter any old mine workings unless you're absolutely sure what you're doing and somebody knows where you are and what you're up to. By far the better way is to join a club or an organisation that will help you start to get underground. Anyhow, this mine is an ochre mine, and it's also quite important because it's a habitat of the greater horseshoe bat. Now, last time I was in here, there were quite a lot of bats on the roof and in the entrance. Today I haven't seen any, so maybe they're all out and about, or maybe they're in a different part of the system. I think they do tend to move about as the humidity and the temperature changes. Now, if we do find any bats, then we won't film them because it's never recommended to film bats. A lot of people will tell you it's against the law to film or photograph bats. I'm not entirely sure that's true. It's certainly against the law to disturb them. And I think it's generally accepted that photographing them or filming them will disturb them, not the actual act of photographing them, not particularly shy or anything. I think it's just the fact that if you're lingering around in the area where they are, then you could be likely to disturb them. It's worse, of course, to disturb them in the hibernation season. We're well out of the hibernation season now, so I don't think we have to worry about that. But still, if we come across any bats, then we won't have the big light on, obviously, and we'll just move quietly and quickly past them to avoid disturbing them. Anyhow, no bats in this bit, but It is about time I had some of Nikki's flapjack that she made in the van yesterday. Now I'm down in the lower parts of the mine now. I'm being quite careful about filming. Sorry if there's not much footage, but I am seeing quite a few bats flying around, so I'm being very careful not to disturb them too much. But look at this fungus growing on this old pit prop. Look, it's almost jet black. There's another one over there, and more there as well. These timbers are no longer really doing much to hold up the roof. They're rotten as a pear. So yeah, this is ochre mine, and ochre was used for all sorts of different things actually. Primarily I think as a colour for making red paints, dyeing cloth, that sort of thing. And it would have been laid down as like a shallow pond, maybe fed by a hot spring. All the iron deposits sort of settled out here, so this would have been like a boggy lake bed at one time, and that's what's left all this lovely red ochre. And it does stain everything very red. Anyway, there are a lot of bats flying around, so I'm going to call it a day in here and head back out to the entrance. I've looked around this mine before, so I'm not going to miss anything, but there's so many bats flying around in the lower area down there that I'm not going to disturb them today. Well, there we go, we're out of the mine, and the bonus is the sun seems to have come out a little bit. It's a lot drier than when we went in. It is a bit of a shame couldn't spend longer in there, but I just felt in the deeper part of the mine there were so many bats around that I didn't want to cause them any distress. So leave that for another day. I guess they've moved into the lower part of the mine, perhaps to get a little bit of cooler air, I don't know. Certainly last time I came here they were all near the entrance mainly, so I was able to just pass quickly and quietly underneath them and not disturb any further in. Anyway, maybe I was being overcautious and I could have carried on, but it's their home, not mine, so let's leave them to it, eh? There's plenty more to see out in the sunshine. Well, I think I was a little bit optimistic when I spoke about the rain stopping. The rain, in fact, has not stopped, so I'm going to get wet cycling back as well. Still, might rinse some of this red off, eh? Well, I mean, this is a pretty steep hill to get up. I'd have to stop for a breather. Whew. Well, I've stopped to have a look at these handsome fellows. Haven't got my cow identification book with me, but I think they might be belted Galloways. Let me know if you think different. Now, you may have noticed we're going back a different way than we came. That's because, as you might have known, yesterday I set fire to the flipperator in the van. And Nikki says I'm not allowed back in the motorhome unless I come back with a new one. And she also wants a potato masher as well. Now, it's Sunday, so I reckon the only chance I stand of getting one is in Wells. So we're going to go back through Wells, which is quite a diversion. Anyway, otherwise I'll end up sleeping outside on the bench, I think. Actually, chaps, I've just checked the time and it's 20 to 4, which means on a Sunday I'm pretty much guessing that Tesco's and all the big places I'm likely to get that sort of thing will be closed by the time I get there, because I'm still good few miles away. So I think we're just going to have to go back to the van and face the music. There is a cut through I can take to divert back onto the original route up here. But yeah, left it too late really to get the new flipperator and masher. Well, even though it's raining, it's still nice to be out in this lovely countryside, especially with all these spring flowers in the hedgerow and such. Look at that, look, lovely. Well, this area on my right here is the Pretty Minories, which is basically an area of old lead mining activity. Not aware there's any access underground here these days, but certainly was a lot of activity in times gone by here mining lead. And now it's really quite a lovely area. No motorcycling though, chaps. Yeah, there's this sort of pond here as well. Guess it's quite good for wildlife and such. Yeah, you can see these hillocks left by lead mining activity. I'm guessing mostly shafts dug down here and worked underground, or maybe like vein workings on the surface. Not sure, don't know much about the history of lead mining in this area. I do know that the old rain's started to come down a bit heavier again though. No, I'm not sure the hunters will be open this time of day, so I think we're going to go back via Pretty. Oh, so much for it clearing up later. I'm getting a proper soaking. Anyway, not far back to the van now, hopefully. Good thing is it's pretty much downhill all the way from here. See you at the bottom. Oh, well, there's the view we couldn't see much of earlier across the Somerset levels, I guess. Are those Somerset levels? They look pretty level. And we've made it back to the campsite, which is just as well, because I could do with a nice hot mug of tea. That's if she lets me in, of course. Oh, well, Nikki said she would let me back in the van, but only once I'd had a shower and got some of the red off me, because the ochre does rather stain your hands and your trousers and your jumper a little bit. That was a good shower. No tea though. Now we're going to go off to Wookey to find the pub. So it's back on the bikes. Oh, this is a pleasant little lane, isn't it? Hey, my love.
Doctor's Lane, not
Doctor's Hill, I think. Not Doctor's Gate, something. I don't know. Anyway, this is the way to Wookey to the pub. And she's off again. Like Superman with her cape, look, with that coat flapping about. Oh, well, this pub's closed, so we're off to find the Pheasant pub instead.
Sunday of the month, all welcome. Neat raffle drawn on the same day.
Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.